All right, Shalom, Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, who I learn this truth from and who rule well. And Shalom to you elect, starting with the 144,000. All right, and the 1/3, Shalom and blessings to you. So this is a video on Rumble. All right, it's a documentary titled Stink. Do you use any perfume at all? Documentary Reloaded 2015. And it's a worthwhile documentary. I only recorded 7 minutes of it, and I'm gonna play it and interject when the spirit wills. But there's a lot of information that comes out on just your sense of smell and how much that can affect you, whether good or bad. So again, I'm gonna go into it and play it, and then when there's a good point, I'll pop in.
In laboratories? I don't know. Yeah. Did you know there's a loophole in the law? So if you see the word fragrance, it appears to be a singular ingredient, but it's actually used in lieu of disclosing, perhaps 100 different synthetic chemicals.
I had no idea.
How you doing? Just wondering if you had a second to give us your 2 cents on what you think of like perfume.
Like real perfume or the perfume of Jesus? Fragrance, I would say, is to the nose what music is to the ears. It's exactly the same.
Well, Christophe Laudomil designs fragrances not only for people, but for clothes, products, even environments, like the scent used exclusively in Abercrombie and Fitch stores. Here, Laudomil's signature scent is pumped out like music.
I don't even have to say it, but you heard what the the music was going into. But you seen they were asking some people, and they were asking more people before I didn't record it. Again, you can watch that part yourself on Rumble. But majority of people don't know that there's a loophole to where fragrance, it can mean anything pretty much, right? Fragrance, you see natural fragrance and you think it's all good, but it's all chemistry, and there's good and bad chemistry. There's natural lead, there's natural mercury, there's natural fluoride and arsenic. Those are all natural things as well,
To provide consumers a unique shopping experience.
Your nose is as important as your eyes, in fact, and usually it's always more important than your ears to decide, to feel, to remember, to learn. So all that is also influenced by the sense of smell.
Modern fragrances like these are made from thousands of chemical ingredients, synthesized in a lab and designed to mimic natural aromas.
In perfumery, you can use man-made molecules. You cannot extract the sea. There is no sea extract. That smells like you're on a boat. You have to recreate that. Okay. Some ingredients are so powerful, you dilute them just like a very strong pigment, you dilute it in white paint. So it's the same with ingredients. Some ingredients are extremely powerful. They can smell of sewage. But then if you dilute it, the same ingredient, it will smell of hazelnuts.
Do you see how nasty that is, man? So they're just playing with anything that mixes and synthesizes, and you heard him say aroma, and when you type in sweet savor, there's quite a lot of scriptures that come up, like Genesis 8:21, right? It says, and the Lord Yahweh smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord Yahweh said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and neither will I again smite anymore everything living as I've done. Now in the NLT it says, and the Lord Yahweh was pleased with the aroma of the sacrifice and said to himself, right? So as you see, hold on, let me type it in one more time. Sweet Savior, right? And there's a lot of scriptures that come up. Now we're a sweet Savior unto the Lord, the hopeful elect, right? 2 Corinthians 2:15, for we are unto the Most High, sweet Savior of Mashiach, in them that are saved and in them that perish. NLT says, our lives are a Mashiach-like fragrance rising up to the Most High. But this fragrance is perceived differently by those who are being saved and by those who are perishing, and pretty much, aroma and incense was part of the law, man. The Lord dealt with those things because clearly you're seeing it have a big effect, and Esau knows that. Esau, the most subtle creature in the field, he knows that, and he knows how to manipulate it. Let's go on.
So it shouldn't surprise me that what I smell isn't real lemon or vanilla, but a concoction of chemicals manufactured for industrial distribution designed to trick me.
We have 3,000 raw materials. In some way, shape, or form, all 3,000 are on this floor somewhere. The ingredients that you'll find in any fragrance company are relatively the same. There's about 3,000 raw materials, and when perfumers are creating, these are building blocks as raw materials for them.
Fragrance ingredients either come from petroleum or plants.
A lot of the synthetic chemicals that are used to make these less expensive fragrances are derived from petrochemical feedstocks. And the reason for that is that they're a lot less expensive. We buy the natural chemicals, which are more expensive, of course, but derived from plant materials, from botanicals.
Natural fragrance makers often list their ingredients on product labels. But if anyone did want to find out what synthetic chemicals were used in a fragrance, they couldn't. Companies can claim those ingredients as a trade secret.
So the sense of smell is very, very secret because the industry kept it as a black box, but also because it's very, very complex to study. People are not educated to read formulas, and there is no intellectual property coverage or protection.
Most fragrance companies couldn't patent their formulas, so they were recipes. There was a formula vault. Looks like a bank vault. And all the formulas are sacrosanct. They're held in that vault. Very few people in the organization were allowed access to them because they're recipes. And, it's easy, if someone gets their hands on a formula, to reproduce that.
Like the secret formula for Coca-Cola or the Colonel's recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken? People in laboratories? I don't know.
Wait a second.
Formula for Coca-Cola or the Colonel's recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Recent scientific discoveries have added new and entirely different components.
Fragrance makers can keep the chemical components in their scents secret.
The result? Fragrances never known before. And thus, a great fragrance is born.
Today, fragrance is a $100 billion industry and still growing. Whether a scent is promoted as a product feature or sold as a fine perfume, the truth is, most fragrance ingredients don't come from flower fields in France. They come from chemical factories in New Jersey.
The perfume industry has been trying to maintain a mystique because fragrances have always had a certain allure of mystery and romance and creativity about it. And by transforming it into a chemical company with ingredient disclosure, that mystique is gone.
The fragrance industry expressly said that they don't want consumers to know that the ingredients that are in Chanel No. 5 are some of the same ingredients that are used in their toilet bowl cleaner. They don't think the consumer is sophisticated enough to be able to make that distinction. There's a lot that goes into making a fragrance, and we get that. We're not asking for that. We're asking for what chemicals are used in our personal care products, what chemicals are used in our cleaning products, so that we can make educated decisions.
But trade secrets aren't limited to perfumes, pajamas, and personal care products. Many industries say their ingredients are a trade secret in order to avoid disclosing that their product contains toxic chemicals.
If you have an ingredient or a chemical in your product that a consumer can Google and find out that it is toxic or carcinogenic, well, you don't want to have to tell people that that chemical is in there.
What's troubling is where these secret chemicals are ending up.
According to an independent lab hired by the Environmental Working Group, my blood contains 175 chemicals linked to cancer, 210 chemicals linked to heart disease, and 196 chemicals linked to birth defects.
See, so this man's a devil, man. All right. That lady said that some of those ingredients in Chanel No. 5 are the same ingredients in your toilet bowl cleaner, man. And you're spraying that on, and like I said, the sense of smell is very important, right? The sense of smell, I just typed it in, right? Smells have a stronger link to memory and emotion than any of the other senses, and neuroscience may know the reason why. Right? It says down here, why is the sense of smell the strongest? The sense of smell is closely linked with memory, probably more so than any of our other senses. In fact, there's even a name for this, the Proust effect. Scientists hypothesize that it is due to the proximity of your olfactory system to the memory hub in your brain. And the olfactory, that's a whole sensory system linked with your sense of smell and going into your brain. And it can trigger certain reactions and even hormones in your brain. That's why it's important, man. Burn your incense. Get the real frankincense and myrrh. Those are some of the highest vibrations, man, frequencies out there. That'll do you good. Get into essential oils, man, or even make extracts. You can put frankincense in olive oil and make it sit there for a month or two, and extract that, and then use it on you, for your skin issues or pain, and even that's just like I said, that smell, it'll do you good. It's the same thing with a lemon rind or orange rind, or different plants. That's what we did in the ancient world, but essential oils are even on a higher level because it's distilled, right? So it's on a very high frequency. It's a pure extract of that plant, and we're gonna get into that olfactory a little bit later. I haven't seen
But the most disturbing results of this study revealed all 10 infants tested had almost as many chemicals in their blood as the adults.
We tested umbilical cord blood from 10 babies born in the U.S. We tested for more than 300 chemicals. We found 287 chemicals altogether. Everything from consumer product ingredients like Teflon and Scotchgard to flame retardants and fragrances to waste that comes from burning gasoline and garbage. The chemicals that are in the environment that are in our everyday products end up in our body. These chemicals get into the mother's body, slip across the placenta, and contaminate babies even before the moment of birth. And the fact is, each one of us, each of our children is born pre-polluted with hundreds of different chemicals from our everyday lives, from our everyday products.
Of the over 80,000 chemicals circulating in commerce today, of high concern is a family of commonly used chemicals called phthalates. Found in everything from fragrances to cosmetics, pesticides to plastics, cleaning supplies and clothing. Phthalates are also members of a longer list of man-made molecules called endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs.
Con. So you've seen how they mentioned about endocrine disruptors disrupting your hormonal system, right? This is the psychology of smell, olfaction, and emotion, right? I mentioned the olfactory system, right? You have the olfactory neurons, right? The aromatic substance that you take in, and as you see, there's something called the olfactory bulb and the limbic system of the brain, which is all interesting topics, man. For you people out there, you can research. Your brothers out there and your sisters and you just regular people. All right, you can research this. It's pretty interesting. 75% of the emotions we generate on a daily basis are affected by smell. Next to sight, it is the most important sense we have. Martin Lindstrom, Mind Journal, right? And that's why, look, you got these car scents, you got these fabric softeners, laundry detergents, Febreze sprays, these sprays, what do you call it? Air fresheners, um, cleaning products. These all play every day on your mind, man. God damn, if you use deodorant, brothers out there, don't use Axe, don't use those spray deodorants. You can use many other things. You can use bentonite clay. A brother in the camp, Yuwasap, he makes bentonite clay with coconut and baking soda, and he adds his essential oils. That's an amazing detergent, man. It's more like a clay that you rub under your armpits, and you won't ever get foul stenches, man. There's all kinds of ways, but even just the air fresheners and different things like that, they play a part in us, man. All right, here's some more information: how aromatic molecules influence the emotional center of the brain. It says when fragrance is inhaled, the odor molecules travel up the nose where they are trapped by olfactory membranes that are well protected by the lining inside the nose. When stimulated by odor molecules, this lining of nerve cells triggers electric impulses to the olfactory bulb in the brain. Because the limbic system is directly connected to those parts of the brain that control heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, memory, stress levels, and hormone balance, essential oils can have profound physiological and psychological effects. And if you look up frankincense and myrrh specifically, just as an incense, never mind a essential oil, but that's why we had that importance of the incense for the frankincense and myrrh specifically. Those two resins, they have a profound effect on dopamine, right? Mood control, right? Mood boosting properties. People with ADD, people with autism, you know, which a lot of us, have certain problems like that. Whether you were jabbed up with various things when you were a kid in school, or how you came up on GMOs, or however this kingdom has affected your body, because this kingdom affects our bodies all differently, man. There's all kinds of bio warfare, biological warfare that's being pointed at us, man, and affecting us every day, pretty much, affecting us, right? So it says the sense of smell is the only one of the five senses directly linked to the limbic lobe of the brain, the emotional center. Anxiety, depression, fear, anger, and joy all emanate from this region. All other senses are routed through the thalamus. So this is a very important sense. That's why I mentioned it is probably the most important sense of the five. And that's why, hey man, you'll be somewhere and you'll get a whiff of something, and it can be so nostalgic, it can bring back a memory. You'll have damn near vision. Whether you're in the subway, outside, a restaurant, at a family member's house, you'll smell that smell, and it'll bring you all the way back, and unlock, as the youth say, it'll unlock a memory. And that you kind of forgot, but it was there. That's how important this thing is. So I hope you're edified with that. That was pretty much all I had. Call Halalim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect, Kwam Yasharallah.